Last episode, we made this really delicious, unique chili. So today, we're making nachos. It's the natural extension of making chili. My thought process is sort of focused on the Super Bowl. And if you're making a big pot of chili on the Super Bowl, it just makes sense to be able to use it in as many ways as you can. And nachos is a great way to sort of give your chili legs, make your life a little easier by making one thing and being able to turn it into one or two things. And so now that we have our chili made, I had it in the freezer, right? So I just sort of broke off some of the frozen bits, and I'm just gonna reheat that up, get that nice and hot. Now what's gonna make our nachos good is we're making our chips homemade. Big problem with nachos I find is sometimes these store-bought chips are a little bit too flimsy. They don't have the structure to hold on to what you're about to throw on top of it. They get soggy quickly. They're too salty. There's something wrong with it. So we're gonna make ours fresh with some fresh corn tortillas. We sort of did this in the last episode with the chili. All we're gonna do is just cut these into different shapes. So you're just gonna get them stacked, and you're just gonna cut once down, and then another across, and then you've got chips. Now I'm gonna leave a link down to another video I made for guacamole and restaurant style salsa. That's a great thing to make on the Super Bowl, and it's another thing you can kind of do double duty with and add to something like nachos. I've got some guacamole already made, so if you wanna check out how to make guacamole, I'll leave links down below to all of the videos that pertain to this one. One thing we have not talked about though is Pico de Gallo, which is sort of just like a fresh tomato salsa. It's made with jalapeno, onions, tomato, some cilantro, a little lemon juice, and it's just very simple, sort of chunkier salsa. But we don't want all the seeds inside of these tomatoes, so we need to de-seed them, and that's something new to sort of go over. Now, as I said, I don't like tomatoes in the winter, but if you're going to buy tomatoes in the winter, look for them on the vine, take a look at them, make sure they're red all around, and then smell them. If they smell tomatoey, then, they may not be the most amazing tomato ever, but they will do for this recipe. So maybe just 2 of these I need. And all I want to do is cut the tomatoes into quarters. When you cut into them, they're not very red inside, which is what the problem is. But we're gonna cut that out. All of these seeds, we just want this flesh and all of this meat along the outside. So I'm just gonna take my knife and just cut those seeds out of there. And then you're left with like a little bit that you could just scrape out onto the counter. And then you've got this piece of tomato that we can then flatten out, cut into little strips, and then into nice little dices. Now I just got some finely diced onions. You know how to chop onions. I'm not gonna show you right now. We're just gonna add some of these onions into the pico. I got some pickled jalapenos. Just gonna give it a quick dice. Some fresh cilantro. About a half of a lime for now. Let's see how that does. Salt. A little bit of oil. Okay, so I got all my toppings ready. I just got some sour cream in a squirt bottle to squirt it on top after. I got my pickled jalapenos from last episode, the ones my brother made, the ones that we used on the food truck. These are gonna go on top. Now I just need to heat up my chili and fry the tortillas. I just have a pot of canola oil and a small pot halfway filled up, and I'm just gonna fry them in small batches in that. You could get a big Dutch oven, do them in bigger batches, but I just don't have that much oil. And so I'm just gonna use a smaller pot with a smaller amount of oil, get the job done all the same. Just may take a little bit longer. So let's head on over and get these things taken care of. So everything's ready. When we assemble nachos, to me, it's not so much about height, because height will then result in a bunch of nachos not getting any sauce, any meat, any of that good stuff. So I like to do it wider, right? So if you're going to serve it on a big platter. Serve it in like 1 or 2 layers max, not like a few layers of chips. And then so all the chips get a little bit of cheese, chili, all the good stuff. I don't necessarily need every chip covered with sauce and everything that I'm putting on top of it. You want sort of just like a mix of chips that have all the goodies on top, chips that don't, chips that are half soggy, half crispy, real crispy chips. All these textures, they sort of kind of play together to make nachos what they are. I'm just gonna go straight on here with the chips. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of the chili to it, and then I'm gonna put it in cheese, then get it under the broiler. That's gonna be like that first stage. Then the second stage is gonna be us putting all the fixins and the garnishes and all of the stuff to make it look nice on top, and then we're ready to go. So let's get this thing going. I've just got some Monterey Jack cheese and some Colby cheddar. Any sort of blend of Mexican cheeses works. Take your chips. All right, that's a nice mound of chips. Next, we're gonna go in with our chili. Now this is gonna go under the broiler just until the cheese is melted and it starts to sort of brown. What's great about making your own chips is like even these ones in the middle, still crunchy. And I even did a photo shoot and these have been sitting for a minute. Is if you make your own chips, you're probably gonna have a little bit more success. It's got color, it's inviting, it's got lots of flavors, textures, all sorts of good stuff. And it didn't really take much more if we got a pot of chili on the stove. So I hope that you guys got a lot of ideas for the Super Bowl. I got salsas, guacamoles, buffalo wings, chili, nachos, pretty much all set for game day. I'm gonna leave a link down below to all the recipes that I think are fitting for the Super Bowl that I also think you might want to try. I hope you guys have an awesome Super Bowl, and I hope Tom Brady loses. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that one. Super Bowl is over, just another day of the year, and we're all prepared for. Makes me feel good. Super Bowl, you got lots of stuff to make this year. I don't want to hear that you're not inspired and you got nothing going on. Make some delicious stuff for your friends, your family, whoever. Some exciting news. ABC World News Now left my kitchen studio a few hours ago. We shot a couple segments that will air on ABC World News Now. Basically had this guy Christopher come over. He doesn't know how to cook, and I basically took him through 2 recipes, one of them a Valentine's Day recipe. So this segment should air before Valentine's Day, and then one to follow up. We made risotto and we made cheesy gordita crunches. So that's exciting. Can't wait for those to air. Exciting stuff, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all my patrons. Appreciate everybody. That's all I've got today. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Till next time, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.